Hi, my name is Kat, and today I will be doing the big book tag. This tag was created by One Book, One Review, and I will link the original video in the place where the links go. The tag itself is pretty straightforward. Basically, you just pick out the 5 biggest books on your shelves that you have read and the 2 biggest books on your shelf that you have not read. So first up, I have the biggest book that I've read, and that is The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is a huge book. This copy is 1,137 pages, counting the indexes and all the family trees and stuff at the end. This is the biggest book that I've ever read. The next big book I have read is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Many of the Harry Potter books are pretty hefty, but this is the largest one, clocking in at 870 pages. That's a big book. This is probably the second largest book I've ever read, and also the largest book I have reread. I think I've read this one 3 or 4 times, and I'm most likely going to read it again. Probably even this year. The third biggest book on my shelves that I have read is The Sweet Farthing by Libba Bray. This is the third book in the Great and Terrible Beauty trilogy, and it clocks in at 819 pages. Book number 4 on my list is Breaking Dawn by Stephenie Meyer. All of Stephenie Meyer's books are pretty hefty, but this one is the big winner with 754 pages. And finally, for my 5th big book, I am going with Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This isn't actually in the top 5 biggest books that I own. I do have some other J.K. Rowling and Stephenie Meyer books that are larger than this one, but at 570 pages this is still pretty big, and it is the biggest book that I have read so far this year. So that counts for something. Also, William Herondale. So those are the 5 biggest books I own that I have read, and now let's move on to the 2 big books on my shelf that I have not read. Ha! Under the Dome by Stephen King. I really had to lift that one. This is a freaking gigantic book. Like, I would use this as a weapon. If I had to choose one book on my shelf to use as a weapon, it'd be this one. Actually, I might go with a smaller one because this is kind of too heavy for me to wield, but this book is huge! This book is 1,072 pages long, and my arm is already tired from holding it up. I've started this book several times, but I've only ever gotten a couple hundred pages in. However, I really want to read this book at some point in my life. I mean, it took Stephen King like 30 years to write it, so if it takes me a couple years to read it, I think that's okay. And for my final big book that I have not yet read, I have the Black Jules trilogy by Anne Bishop. This is a bind-up of the trilogy, so I guess technically it's 3 books in one, but I still need to read this, and this copy is 1,200 pages. I've heard lots of good things about it, and it is my friend Caitlin's favorite trilogy, and several more of you guys have also recommended that I check it out, so I'm going to check it out. I'm going to read it. I just don't know when because it's giant and intimidating. So yeah, those are my big books. The 5 biggest books that I have read and the 2 big books on my shelf that I still need to read, but I'm gonna, don't worry, I will read them at some point, eventually. They're huge! They're really intimidating! Anyways, that is everything I have for this video today, so thank you very much for watching it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you do this tag if you have big books, because I like big books, and I cannot lie. You other readers can't deny. When a book is so big, it's hard to lift. I get tired because honestly I don't have that much upper body strength, and these big books are like really heavy. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great night, and I will have another video up soon, so I will see you then. Goodbye!